Hey there, Virgo. Welcome to your midweek update for the week of December 27th. If you haven't watched the first part of this reading, I'll have a link to that down below. Make sure to watch that first because that will cover all the cards that you see here. But we're going to clarify this. This is like your free extended, and we're going to see what comes up for you in the middle of this week. I'm going to put some anchor cards here at the beginning or at the top of each one of these rows. And you have this Hawk Spirit as you're in your first row here. And the Hawk Spirit says, let Spirit be your guide. Actually, in your reading, we were talking about how there, at the end of the first part of your reading, we were talking about how you could be seeing signs, symbols, things like that with this message in the bottle card, and about how the universe is kind of like guiding you, I felt, through, maybe dreams, daydreams, but also signs and symbols for the most part. But something, like I was seeing it as something that needs to be unwrapped with that message in a bottle card, because it's kind of like, sometimes I think when we get universe messages from the universe, it's not like very direct. Like we could just be thinking about something and we see 11:11 on the clock, or maybe we see a certain animal like a hawk, right? That maybe we keep seeing hawks. It's like that could be a sign or a symbol for you. So I do feel that this week is asking you to make sure that you allow the universe to guide you at this time with the Hawk Spirit. With the Five of Pentacles here, in your current energies, you have the Ten of Swords. I feel like you do need to let go of that Five of Pentacles energy. Five of Pentacles says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. In the first part of your reading, we were talking about how that Five of Pentacles could be like a very stuck energy. That's how I was feeling it. And you have the Eight of Swords right next door, which we were talking about that as well. So for a lot of you, this to me is saying screaming new beginning. The other crazy thing is that like a new day is dawning here on the back of this Ten of Swords. Your next card in your next row is this new beginning card. It looks like the dawn is rising here on this new beginning card. And not only that, your next card for your crossing energy is the sun. So it's like the sun is clearly rising in your life. You have the Page of Cups here. I know what this is, Virgo. You always get these freaking readings. I call these Tinkerbell readings because, and I'm pretty sure you had one of these recently. To me, a Tinkerbell reading is, it's like, if you don't believe in Tinkerbell, she disappears, right? And to me, this is like saying, if you don't believe that things are going to get better in your life, then they're just not going to get better. But if you can stay positive with the sun, if you can focus on what you really want with the Page of Cups, he is imagining the fish that is in that cup there. That fish could be anything. It could be love. It could be his own happiness. It could be his health. And he's really focused on that fish. But he needs to grab onto that fish. He needs to make sure that that fish doesn't get out of that cup. So it's going to be really important for you. Like your focus is going to be very important this week. I feel the things that you focus on are going to be very important this week as well. So I would keep it positive. Could also be an admirer coming in for you. You have the Page of Pentacles, Page of Cups, the Six of Cups. You have the Two of Cups as well here. Like I said, I do feel there could be a person coming in for you. Pretty simple as far as love is concerned. It's going to be someone who's probably the opposite from you, or very different than you. They could be similar, but maybe they come from a very different background. They were raised in another country. Maybe they're from another country. Could be anything. There's some sort of difference here with that Two of Cups. With the Six of Pentacles in the area of your thoughts. You have the King of Pentacles here. It popped into my head immediately. I would be very careful of like lack mentality. I think sometimes when we are experiencing restrictions, when we're experiencing a lack of something like money or love or anything else, it's like we try to hold on to every single little bit of money, love, whatever that we can, right? It's like what happens when you get to a relationship where you feel like the other person is trying to run away or trying to get away from you. You try to grab onto them, right? With the Page of Cups, I feel that you do need to grab onto something. But with the Six of Pentacles, I feel this is abundance in general. I feel like it's saying the more open, the more you can just allow things to come and go. It's like, the way that I see it is it's like abundance flows. So if we just allow it to flow, it comes, it goes, right? Money comes in, money goes out, money comes in, money goes out. As long as we stay in the flow and we don't try to grab onto something, it's like things improve. I always tell the story because, I bought this camera here. It's like a super expensive camera. But I actually bought this one over here. This guy right here. This was my second camera. And this was also expensive for me at the time. I bought that camera. I got to like 100,000 subs. I buy this one. I get to like 500,000 subs. So, to me, it's kind of like one of those things. I kind of just let go. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to invest in this business 100%. And I'm going to really put in the work and make it happen. But I stopped worrying about like where every single little dollar was coming from. I stopped worrying about the money in the first place. I was like, I'm just going to take everything I earned from YouTube. I'm going to reinvest it back into YouTube. And crazy thing happened. It's like my channel exploded. So, I'm not saying this to brag or anything like that, Virgo. I'm saying this because I feel like you could be doing that. And I think that's going to be changing everything. I'm not saying it's YouTube, but like whatever it is you're trying to grow, whatever it is you're trying to create, I feel like you're just saying, I'm just going to whatever. Like, in love, for example, I feel like you're going to say, you know what, I'm going to allow a new person into my life and I'm just going to love them no matter what they do, which is a hard thing to do, especially if they hurt you, right? But I think we need to kind of get to that place. Because that King of Pentacles, he feels a little bit restrictive to me. This is the reason I'm saying that. He is kind of like got his foot on his bag here. So he's got his foot on his bag of money right there, Virgo. And it's like he's trying to protect something. He's trying to prevent something from leaving. But it's almost like kind of like the law of the universe. The less we try to force or hold on to things, the more likely we are to have it, right? And that's going to be important for you at this time. Next, you have this new beginning card. So I do feel like there is a significant new beginning coming in for you. This is a beautiful card. Look at that card. I love it. So it's like a new day is dawning for you here, Virgo, and it's going to be a good one. With the Eight of Swords, you have the 10 of Pentacles. You have everything you need to kind of get out of that Eight of Swords energy. The Eight of Swords energy was coming up in your foundation, which is kind of like the foundational energy. And I feel like this is saying you have everything you need to get away from that Eight of Swords. Not only that, I do feel for some of you that there could be like a check or money or an inheritance coming in for you, and that could also be the thing that is setting you free. So it's like if you're trying to make more money, if you're trying to move, it's like there could be like a chunk of change that's coming in for you here. I do feel that. I don't normally say that, but I do feel that there with the 10 of Pentacles. With the 6 of Cups, you have the 7 of Wands here. Yeah, I feel like you're setting boundaries against the past. The 6 of Cups came up in your past position, and it's almost like you're kind of saying, you're drawing a line in the sand here, Virgo, and I feel like you're saying, I'm cutting myself off from the past. I'm only going to be focusing on my wishes. You have this Wish Upon a Star card at the end here, and I do feel like this is saying you're kind of like only focused on things that bring you happiness and joy. With the 5 of Wands and the Page of Pentacles, you have the 9 of Pentacles, pre-Empress energy, love it. This is coming up in your near future. The Page of Pentacles, I was saying, is like some sort of new beginning for you, clearly. And I feel for a lot of you that this could actually be good news. Like, look, you have the hawk spirit up here, and she has a falcon on her hand here. It kind of represents a message or a messenger, somebody bringing her a message. Messages, you need to open your ears this week, for sure. Because there are, like, very important messages coming in for you. With the 5 of Wands, right here as well, the 5 of Wands would say that these important messages could be, number one, coming from friends and family in your life. 5 of Wands to me is a card of conflict and competition, but to me, it can also, on a very simple level, represent your friends, your family, people in your life. It is a card of socializing, even though they're fighting. So it's going to be very important for you to pay attention to the messages that come in for you at this time. But I also feel you are receiving messages from like spirit. And the 9 of Pentacles would be for increase. 9 of Pentacles is a card of a harvest, abundance, pre-Empress energy. So a lot of success coming in for you with that 9 of Pentacles energy. Amazing, Virgo. Really nice. Next, you have this Wish Upon a Star card. Clearly, it's time for you to make a wish. It's standing out to me that she's kind of like holding that star over her heart here on this card. So I feel there's something inside of you that is like more important to you. You're the only sign that gets this message. You've been getting this message with me forever, but I do feel for a lot of you that it's like there's one specific thing that you really, really want in your life, and I feel like you really need to go for it. It could literally be an item. For most of you, I feel it's an experience. Like you want to move to a certain location. You want to live a certain life, a certain way. Maybe you want to live out of a van. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to become a hairdresser. I don't care. It doesn't matter what it is. It's important to you. And this card to me is like saying you really need to go for it. Even the Two of Cups, by the way, which is your next card here, the Two of Cups can represent you and your higher self. In between these two people is the Staff of Hermes, which represents communication. There is clearly communication coming in for you. Oh, this is coming up, by the way, in the area of your next few months. So in the next few months, you could be getting communication from your higher self. This lion up here represents your ego, and it could be something that kind of like fills your ego or kind of fulfills you on a certain level. A lot of people in the spiritual community look at the word ego as like such a bad thing, which I think is ridiculous. Without an ego, we wouldn't survive, plain and simple. So I think it's ridiculous. We need to have a balanced ego, of course. But anyone who claims to, every single spiritual person I've ever met that's like, oh, I've conquered my ego, biggest you-know-what in the world that I've ever met, like every single one of them. So, and that's coming from my ego. So there you go. But what I would say here with that Two of Cups is that it's like there's something that maybe it is an ego goal. Maybe it is something that fulfills your ego, but I would go for it is what I'd say here. Yeah, look at this. With the Two of Cups, you have the Six of Cups again. Six of Cups is like a childhood dream. Look at this. I didn't even realize. You have Six of Pentacles, Six of Cups, and then Six of Cups. But to me, 2 6s in a row like this is amazing. If you've been watching me for a while, you know I love 2 6s. To me, 2 6s says you're going in the right direction. Your thoughts are in line with the truth. And that's really what I feel here, is that your thoughts are in line with the truth. With the Hangman, you have the Page of Wands here. So I feel for a lot of you, it's like you've been waiting for this journey. The Hangman is coming up in the area of your future feelings as well. So again, I feel like it's time for you to like get moving here, Virgo, towards a goal, wish, dream. And that Page of Wands, again, is just like a card of adventure. It's like saying it is time for the adventure. With the Fool, you have the Moon card here. Feeling like you're not ready, get out of your head is what I'd say to you. This is coming up. This is the area of your future feelings, by the way, is the Fool and the Moon. The Moon can represent a period of innovation, a period of kind of trying new things. It represents a period after a full moon. And so I feel for a lot of you, the Fool is kind of like saying you're ready. The Moon is you feeling like you're not ready. And this is very common right now. I think that with Neptune and Pisces kind of removes the markers. It's like normally if we were to start a business, if we were to want to start a new relationship, we might get little clues that we're moving in the right direction. With Neptune and Pisces, it's like those clues are gone. We're kind of like flying by the seat of our pants. We're having to guess. We're having to kind of maybe trust our own intuition and things like that. And not only that, it's a very innovative energy. We could be coming up with new ways of doing things, but we're not sure if it's going to work because it's never been done before. This could be in any area of your life, like in relationships. It's like maybe you get into a new relationship and maybe you're like, you know what? Maybe you're kind of like intuitively feeling, you know what? I don't want to get married. I just want to live with this person, and we don't need the piece of paper. We can just, have a family and all this other stuff. Not many people do that. So Neptune and Pisces is like you're not sure how it's going to turn out. You're kind of flying by the seat of your pants. That's just one example. I think there are a million. I think there are a million examples here, Virgo, of like what you could be doing. But it's going to lead to like a new beginning and a very exciting new life. And with the High Priestess, you have the Three of Cups. So your outcome is definitely a celebration. I feel there is a celebration, happiness coming in for you. Three of Cups is kind of a card of fulfillment and community as well. There is like a little bit of teamwork here. So if you're like, teamwork makes the dream work, especially for you Earth signs, for sure. In between now and like 2026, I would say if you're not building a community, a team, working with other people, you're crazy. I don't care, even if you're retired. People always say, I don't want to be on social media, I'm retired, and all this other stuff. I'm like, you can do it in person, but I would start some sort of group or club at this time. The problem with me saying this is like, I don't know why. Like, I don't really have a good solid answer. Other than, I see it in the astrology. I've been intuitively getting these messages that groups are going to be very, very important for people. But it's like, I think there could be a lot of benefits in just like having a social group. Maybe like gardening, start a gardening club, do something. Because the people who do these things, I'm telling you right now, mark my words, Virgo, the people who do these things that build communities at this time are going to be very successful in the future. What does that mean? I don't know. What type of success? I can't tell you, but I would just tell you, I think that it's going to be extremely important. This is a really, really good reading for you here, Virgo. There's like a lot of good stuff coming in for you and a lot of happiness. Again, I feel like there's something you've been dreaming of since you were basically a child here with that Six of Cups, like some sort of wish, and I think that's what you need to move towards here. But this looks good. So thank you for being here. Really appreciate it. Make sure to watch your sun, moon, and rising for a full picture of what's going on for you at this time. Also, make sure to check out part 1 if you haven't already down below. But thank you, and definitely enjoy your week.